Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Jane Smolnik, and I want to talk to you today about how you can live a more empowered and joyful life, feeling much more in charge of what's happening in your life. So, as we all know, basically, we all have things that challenge us. We can have the lower vibrating emotions, fears, doubt, worry, shame, guilt, anger, resentment, judgments that really keep us a bit limited, right? We also have beliefs, many beliefs like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I'm not smart enough, or strong enough, or life is really difficult. I can never make enough money. Life is stressful. There's all these different beliefs. When we hold on to these beliefs, they're actually taught to us and they act as transparent filters that we experience and create our life through. Such as if you have a belief that money's hard to come by, what do you think you're going to experience in life? Or if you have a belief that maybe I'm not strong enough, or maybe I'm not smart enough, or maybe I'm not good looking enough, what do you think you're going to experience? It all relates. But let's go back to the lower vibrating emotions, the fear, guilt, shame, worry, resentment, anger, all that stuff. It's like these things, I look at them as the lower vibrating emotions are what pulls our vibration and frequency down. This also contributes to chronic conditions, ailments, illness, pain, struggle, and suffering. Now, they're there for a purpose as well, because they're trying to get our attention on what it is that we need to heal. So, on the other end of the spectrum, like if we could extrapolate what some of these difficulties and challenges are in our life, what is the good there? Remember, there's good and bad and everything. How do you extrapolate how it helps you to be a stronger person? On a soul level, what is it teaching you? How is it empowering you? What are the virtues you can extrapolate from that? Because the virtues are really the soul's way of healing. What are the virtues that are trying to emerge from your heart and soul? Now, these virtues are the higher vibrating frequencies like love, appreciation, joy, compassion, kindness, unity, or oneness, feeling like you're belonging, feeling like you're supported, appreciated, respected, all those things that we all yearn for, right? So the more we can put our gauge toward the positive frequencies, the positive healing frequencies, it makes a world of difference in what we're managing and creating in our life. Now, one of the things I talk about, especially in my biofield clearing training, is I look at it as we have a vertical power axis, which means here you are in the middle. When you are fully grounded, connected to the earth with deep roots, then you're much stronger in that power force, right? And then when you open your connection and you're fully connected and aware of your unlimited divine source, the universal consciousness, the unlimited potential that's there, that we are created from. We contain that in every cell of our being. It's like all the universal infinite energy is within our cells and our DNA. It's like we are a fractal of it. Every cell of our being is a fractal of it. And we have light, energy, and voltage in our cells. So to be more empowered, you have to be more aligned with who you truly are, which is your divine nature, your divine source, your innate beingness, in a sense, and be very grounded. Now, the challenge comes from when we're here on 3D reality on Earth. It's a very limited range in a sense. We get pulled off center. We always have one foot in the center because you're always connected to source. But we get pulled off center when we go into judgments, resentments, anger, grief, fear, sadness, shame, guilt, all those things, you know? But what I've always said is the greatest gift that you can get lies in exploring that. And when you discover the potential that's there, you will have the gift of equal and opposite pressure. So the bigger the challenge, the greater the gift, the greater the wisdom, the empowerment, the insights that you will have. But there's one challenge. That challenge is the fact that we are only consciously aware of 10% in our conscious mind, the prefrontal cortex. Our consciousness is only 10% of what's really going on. It's like this limited box, right? So the other 90% is in your subconscious and unconscious mind. And that's what's really running the show. It holds on to every single thing you've thought, said, done, felt, seen your entire life. It has complete history and memory of that. It's also stored in our DNA, in our cells. It's like a almost like an inner processor in a sense. It holds on to all that stuff. But again, we're not always aware of it. So these things are, especially your subconscious mind is really running the show. So when you have wounds and hurt and limitations and struggles and belief and trauma, blocked energy and stuff, you're going to have a limited ability to create a life of joy and happiness and passion for yourself. So, one of the reasons why I developed the Biofield Clearing training course is because in my practice of over 30 years, probably closer to 36 years, as a naturopathic doctor, holistic health um, practitioner, basically, and I've studied so many different things in my life between herbal medicine and natural therapies and intuitive diagnosis and kinesiology and iridology and consciousness awareness expanding and even spiritual healing. I'm actually a certified spiritual healer as well as a certified intuitive healer. So, one of the things I noticed in my practice is it's not just about taking supplements and changing your diet. Of course, that can be very helpful because you want to raise your vibration by eating healthier food and avoiding toxins in your food, changing your diet a little bit. But that's sometimes difficult for people. But the more important thing that I have seen for people to really regain their innate power, their wisdom, their health, their strength, is to look at healing on a deeper level, the healing of the soul, the DNA. So, what is in there that is really keeping us? What are all these transparent filters that are limiting our ability to create a joyful, empowered life? And those are the things that are in the subconscious and unconscious mind. So, one of the things I've done over the years is developed a whole variety of different charts. And it's not just one chart of emotions. You may have heard about that. Yes, we get trapped emotions, we can identify it and clear it. And I remember learning about that a long time ago, thinking, well, that's very interesting and it's important, but that's extremely limited. So I developed charts that were not just a much more expanded chart of emotions, but core fears, inner challenges, blocked energy in the body, blocks in the chakra, limitations in the energy field, limiting beliefs, um, archetypal patterns, negative programming, cords. There's so many different charts, addictions, dependencies, that one of the things we do with biofield clearing, with your permission, we connect with your angels, your guides, your higher self, your medical assistance team, your divine source. And we invite them into the session. They basically guide and direct the entire session, they assist it. So, your particular team, we have a particular opening prayer that opens that up and invites them to come in. And then we ask, what are your concerns that you're concerned about? Because your team, your angels, your guides, your higher self can assist you with anything, but not unless you ask. Because you do have free will, they can't interfere. But once you ask and you say, you know what, I'm really having a challenge with finances right now, or with my relationship, or anything, then we say, okay, so for this person, based on what your concerns are there any, and we go through the charts of trapped emotions that need to be cleared, any core fears, any blocks, any challenges, any limitations, and so forth. And they will point to exactly what it is. We can even find out what realm did this come from. Sometimes it came from this particular lifetime. And we can even pinpoint the age about when it got trapped in the body. It might have been when you were a child or a teenager or a traumatic event somewhere in your life, like your 30s or 40s, or it could have been something prenatal that your mother experienced, and the infant in the womb, the fetus, feels those emotions and it can get trapped in that energy field. But very often, we all have things that we inherit in our DNA from our family line, either maternal or paternal. We can even test and check how many generations back did this come from? What happened like 60 generations ago or 40 generations ago? We can even find that they can come from ancestral patterns, which is more of a collective consciousness of the ancestry that we've come from. Our ancestors have really been through so many struggles, challenges, submission, slavery, wars, weather conditions like droughts and earthquakes and tornadoes, like all kinds of things, as well as, being burned at the stake or being limited, especially females were limited for a long time, as well as people that were basically held in slavery, you know? So we can hold the group consciousness, the collective consciousness in our beingness that still hadn't been healed. And it still emerges because it's trying to get our attention, to pay attention to it and to heal it. And once we do, we can be set free. We neutralize, clear, and dissolve those things. So we have a particular technique that we use. I use ancient Egyptian healing pendulums. They're fascinating. Like here's one in particular. This is called the Mer Isis. It's based on sacred geometry patterns. So the top field goes into your subconscious. This goes into your unconscious. And then we have three amplifying rings and a bowl that collects. So when we create a vortex with very specific commands, we can go into your energy field and pull things out, everything that's connected to that, and then release it from your organs, tissues, glands, cells, meridians, mental, emotional body, and even your DNA. So it neutralizes those, it clears them, it brings them up into our conscious awareness so that we have the potential to do something about it. So it's astounding to me how many things are held in our subconscious and unconscious mind. Because as we identify these things for each person, they go like, yeah, I mean, that totally makes sense. I just love it. It unravels a complete underlying story for them. And it's really essential for us to heal, especially during this time, as the earth is going through an ascension process. All the people, humanity, the mammals, the earth itself, we are all ascending, which means we're stepping up to a higher vibrational frequency. So if you think about it, humans have a very wide range of emotions, from really positive ones to really negative emotions. So it's like a frequency range. Now, as we go up, the whole shift goes up, and we're really healing some of the old baggage, right? The wounds, the suffering, the struggles, the shame, the guilt that we have held on to for a long time. You can't take those things with you into a higher consciousness state of being, into your ascension, into being a fifth dimensional being, which is very spiritually conscious and aware, you know? So it's really important to do it, especially at this time. And everybody needs this. And I remember as I was doing this in my practice, one of the things that I heard my guides tell me, and I've been working with my guides for probably over 40 years or more, you know. So one of the things they said is, okay, now you need to teach this. And I thought, oh my God, what a brilliant idea. Because what I saw is everybody needs this, but I can't work with everybody. So now I teach practitioners, I teach all kinds of holistic natural practitioners, hypnotherapists, psychotherapists, energy healers, light workers, anyone, chiropractors, naturopaths, you name it. Anyone who's interested in learning this technique so they can offer it to their clients, their folks as well. And it's a huge service to humanity. So once we've cleared a number of items that is, addressing that person's concerns, then we always go into the healing charts. Because once you've cleared a lot of challenges, you've neutralized all these limitations, releasing it from the energy field, from the body, the cells, as well as the DNA, it creates wide open space. And what happens if you don't infuse that with positive healing energy is, the statement, nature abhors a vacuum. So it'll go back to your old default patterns just to fill in that space. So what we do is then we ask, what do you need for your inner healing to connect you with your highest and true essential self? And it could be things like what empowering beliefs are beneficial. What would empower you in your life? Um, what virtues are you here to master? What do you need to master for your infinite beingness? What messages or recommendations do your angels and guides have for you? And we end with an inner healing key. I have a chart of 21 inner healing keys, and they're almost like little spiritual homework assignments that your guides choose for you. What's going to be most beneficial for you? So they're simple practices that will help empower you. So once we infuse all this beautiful energy in, and we use a variety of different pendulums, Egyptian pendulums. This one here is called the golden hue. It has a bunch of amplifying rings, and this actually creates the highest frequency of all of divine golden light. And we can infuse it and lock it in your energy field. So there's so many different ones. I love this one too. This one is called a Super Isis 16. This is an Egyptian pendulum. It has 16 amplifying rings. So it goes way out to amplify. And like I said, we do a specific um, technique and very specific commands. Sometimes we're doing a personal energy vortex of light into your energy field, into your body, your cells, organs, glands. And sometimes in the advanced training, we actually go into multidimensional um, vortex in a sense, which is just really super powerful. So I want to give you that overview. So if you are interested in really healing and jumping up a step or several steps, the entire ascension process as well as the healing process, it's a step process that we clear a bunch of things and you go up to a higher frequency range and you integrate that. And then very often people want to come back because they realize, God, it made a huge difference in my life. And now we clear more things and you step up even higher. And there's really no limit. As long as you're here on earth, you're still working through some stuff. We all are. But it gets easier, it gets more joyful, it gets more empowering. So remember, I said in the very beginning, it's like we have our vertical power axis, and all these lower vibrating difficulties and challenges pull us off center. It weakens us, it creates kind of a wobble in our energy field instead of a very strong one. So the more you release those things, the more you come into alignment with your true self. You are a beautiful, powerful, unlimited divine being and can create and manifest anything you want. And the more aligned you are with that innate power, the quicker you're going to manifest what you're choosing deliberately to experience in your life. So if that makes sense to you, I invite you to either experience a session if you've never done that before. If you'd like to, you can have a session with me. If you go to my personal website is ultimatehealing.com. I've had that since the 90s. And if you'd like to book a biofield clearing session with me, it's 90 minutes. I do it by phone, usually Zoom if it's out of the country, and I record it so that you can review it again if you want. And it's very reasonable, but I'll give you a discount code if you've never experienced it before. You can use the code Biofield with a capital B, Biofield 30 off. All one word, Biofield 30 off when you check out, and that'll give you $30 off your session. So the other thing is if you would like to learn how to do this technique, I am starting a new training very soon. Like it starts up this week, and I'll not be doing another one until the fall. So if you go to biofieldclearing.com, you can review it. There's a bunch of testimonies. There's a few videos on there, but you can also click on course info for more information about the training. And if you want to register, that's where you can register. It's very affordable. If you need to break it down to a couple of payments, you can always let me know. So I really encourage you to take more attention on your innate strength, your innate power, your abilities that should be totally online. Right? And let go of the things that pull you off center, that weaken you and keep you in struggles, because we don't need that old baggage anymore. We're letting it go. Okay. So I really encourage you to have a more joyful and powerful life. And I hope to talk to you soon. If you like this video, please click like, and you can even subscribe and share it with some friends. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to talking to you very soon. Thank you.